Yeah, we're rolling, man. Ep 2, we're here.
Yes, sir.
We didn't even manage to get 2 minutes in. I already swore.
I'm so fucking glad about it.
Yeah, Ep 2, we're here. Obviously, Gooms Pod here with a boy.
Yes, sir.
First ever guest. Do you want to introduce yourself, man?
Yeah, what's going on? My name's James. I'm the Sneakerdoc.
Tell them, baby.
And yeah, I'm here on Gooms Pod. Should have said Gooms Pod.
Minor, bro. Minor.
We'll roll with it, man. Let's just go. Let's just crack in.
Yeah, man. What's good? Everything all right?
Yeah, can't moan. Life's going good, you know. Like,
happy for you,
we're
bro.
starting to like take a nice path upwards.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let's talk to the people, John. Tell them what you do. Exactly. Let's explain yourself and your story a little bit.
Yeah, of course. So, 4.5 years ago, started a sneaker cleaning company at my mum's kitchen. 4.5 years down the line, we've had contracts with people like Harvey Nichols, Selfridges. We've opened numerous stores, and now we clean over 600 pairs a month. So yeah, it's been
So
a bit
dope,
of a mad
man.
journey.
Congratulations. Let's do a round of applause for James. Everybody, way! Everybody in the audience, way! Nah, bro, I remember when I first met you was just as you were starting out, because we had the same social media manager at the time.
Yep, Josh, that was right.
And I remember you came into the family restaurant, and I remember you wearing some big puffy Canada Goose, and I was like, who's this acting like the dog's bollocks walking in? But it was the start of a special relationship, man. And I actually remember you said that you were working out of your mum's kitchen. Like, I came, bro, and I saw that, and I was like, wow. I was wowed then, but to see where you were and where you are right now, honestly, it's amazing, bro.
Cheers, I appreciate it.
What's it like kind of growing a brand like that from the ground up to where it is now?
Hectic, fun, full of lessons. It's incredibly hard. You have to go through a lot. I think you grow a lot.
What did you have to go through?
But it's amazing. God, there's been so much. And I tell you what, like, the one thing that has changed is how well I can deal with stress. Because it's the inevitable. You can't hide from it.
Yeah.
But it's one of those. I never planned to start a brand.
When you first, sorry man, I don't mean to cut you off. When you first started, bro, what did you think it was going to be?
I think when I started it, I just thought it was going to be a side hustle. I was 23. I thought, you know what, I could buy some nice clobber, do 6 pairs a week. And then obviously in that first week, we got like 30 pairs. And it was just from there, it was just a rocket ship. So
it's got such a USP though. Because at the time, you're 4.5 years deep now, and to somebody new that doesn't know who you are and who your business is, like, there's a lot of other dudes that are trying to do what you did.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you're like the OG in this game.
Back then, and I think that's the thing. We were one of the first to the market.
Yeah.
And that was the cutting edge. And it was clear from day dot that people needed it.
Yeah, 1,000,000%,
it wasn't
bro.
out there.
Yeah, because what you offered was like, if you're going to go and drop 4 or 5 bills on a pair of shoes, you wear them to the club one night, you've got orange juice stained on your laces, and it's all like, do you know what I mean? And you don't really want to be messing around with expensive crepes at home. So it was like, you're handing it over to somebody that's going to do it and do it properly. And it's like, instead of going and getting a new pair of crepes, you're paying whatever you were paying at the time, which is a small list of fractions of what you would do to go and get a new one. And your trainers come back brand new, bro.
No, absolutely. And I think my ideology behind the brand was that it was to offer a service, but to build a brand behind it so that people could trust you. Because at the end of the day, people are handing over trainers that are up to £1,000. They don't want no kind of like page that looks like an eBay ad.
Yeah.
It needs to look slick. It needs to be a brand. There needs to be personability behind it so that they can trust that their trainers are going to be safe with you.
Yeah.
And that was kind of from the day that I started it, that branding was key. It was the most important thing. And it's definitely played a huge part.
Yeah, bro, your brand is dope, bro.
Did you come up with everything yourself and design everything yourself, or did you get someone in to do all the branding for you? Because I remember when you first started, when I used to see all your stuff on your Instagram and things like that, Chris used to tell me that you used to do it yourself. Yeah,
no, of course. So like, I can play around with Canva. I understand the kind of the basics of branding. I came up with obviously the name, and then
brilliant name, by the way.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
You know what? Like when I thought of that name, it was just like everything just slotted into place.
That's the one.
And I remember
that's kind of what happened with me and Chris when Gooms.
You just get that feeling when you're like, oh, you know what, this could work,
goes.
Yeah.
Exactly, and you can start to picture it. And I remember being so protective. I remember the first
You trademarked.
couple of we have a trademark.
I was going to say, imagine gassing about it
trademarks
tomorrow. Someone trademarks it.
Fuck! Damn. Like, you know, like when I first started the Instagram, someone had the Sneakerdoc. You know, like when it's got no followers. So I had to have this stupid underscore like after my name, and it was jarring. Like it used to do my head in, because for me, it's all about, you know, it's that first glance that people have.
Yeah.
And when you looked at it on Instagram and you could see the Sneakerdoc underscore,
It's annoying.
it almost blurred, like the C and the underscore would blur it, so it wasn't prominent in your face.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm very particular about even small things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas when you see the Sneakerdoc and it stands proud, it's so much more recognizable. So the good thing about a trademark is that it allows you to take ownership of that username. So for anybody that's kind of like actually wants to have their username so close to their actual brand name, trademark that shit.
So you really knew from the start then it was going to be something special.
Yeah,
if you
absolutely.
trademarked it from back then.
And because I remember, like, I remember getting so panicked when, in the early days, you almost want to like, I used to hold it so tight, like close to my chest, because I was like,
It's your baby.
Like, I don't want someone to get this username. I don't want someone to get that domain. I knew from like the day that name came to my brain,
That was the one.
it was the one.
Yeah.
And I could literally like picture the ways that I could brand it. You know, how I could put it out to customers, how we could use it on kind of like social media marketing when I speak to customers.
I'd say in Birmingham, for people like around our demographic, probably like 18 to maybe 30, everybody knows the brand anyways, man.
See, but I still can't deep that though. Like,
Almost like imposter syndrome.
yeah,
You've heard of that
yeah,
before
yeah,
or
no,
not? I
absolutely.
feel like obviously me and Chris aren't really anywhere yet, but I get like times where I feel like I have it as well. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like we're nowhere near how far. Well, we're 7 months into our journey properly.
Yeah.
With everything that we've got going on at the moment, and sometimes I'm like, fuck. Like, am I meant to be here? Is this meant to be me?
It's a curse and it's a blessing. You know, it's a curse in terms of, from a personal perspective, in terms of like how you view yourself, kind of all the stress that you go through internally. But then from a business perspective, having that imposter syndrome will only drive you to be a perfectionist and to work so much harder to make something better. So there's so many times that I've probably gone, you know, to 110% because of that imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And actually that's kind of benefited me.
Yeah.
You know, I am constantly panicking that I haven't done something right, that I haven't done enough for a customer. And yeah, it can be quite encapsulating, but at the same time, it's also benefited me within business.
Because it makes you be specific.
Yeah.
It makes you go those extra details. But that's the one thing, again, like I said, the other people that have tried to get onto your idea, effectively, your business model, that's where you separate yourself
No,
in those minor details.
Well, I mean, like you saw me today when I was like, you know, I was like, all right, move that there.
Yeah, of course.
Because it makes all of the difference. And even down, like, even when it comes to like photography and like, you know, how you kind of compose an image, everything is perfect. Like down to like, you'll notice on like my stories, like I'll line up walls and shelves. Like it all has to be, like I'm very particular.
I'm the same. I'm the same as that, bro. I'm actually the same as that.
I'm not, you know. I'm not.
Do you know what it is?
I'm
I feel
just
like.
not.
Do you know what it is? I feel like it's that artistic approach though towards things.
Right, so what you saying then?
No, listen, bro. On a real though,
Listen, guys, people that tuned in last time to the last pod, that's a dig from H.
No. Right, bro. On a real, you know for a fact that in our kind of relationships, in our relationship as a partnership,
no, I know.
I'm more the creative, and I understand that you're probably better at business than me.
But you
That's a
have to
fact.
have, yeah, and that is the key, and this is what I struggle with, and it's you know, it's great for you too. Like the hardest thing is that it is just me.
Yeah,
I have to carry a lot of the load, whereas, you know, you can equally share it, but you have your own approach to it as well, and you always need someone that's kind of creative, and you always need someone that's technical. And there you go. That's the dynamic.
You can bring those people in though into the brand.
Yeah,
that's
as
tough
you'll grow.
though. It's tough.
Finding the
That's-
right
that
people
is
to fit
very
in, I
tough.
understand.
It's tough, bro. I mean, we're not in a position yet where we need to bring anybody in, but I'm already dreading the day, because it will come. But when we have to trust somebody with our baby to perform and to do the things that you need to be doing but aren't available to do, to find somebody that's going to do them like you, is so tough.
Yeah,
It's
tough.
so
and
tough.
It requires a huge element of trust, and it's a hard thing. But you have to learn to let go, because you can't scale a company holding on so tight that, because you only have a finite amount of resource.
Yeah.
And, you know, like the game that I work in is volume, you know, with lots of 35s and 40s. And there's only so many trainers that I can actually clean in a day.
Yeah.
What's the most you've ever cleaned in a day?
Like,
just out of curiosity.
Between like two of us, 52 pairs.
Damn.
So.
And that's from, in terms of hours, just so we can kind of.
Well, that is from, I would say, 8 in the morning until 6.
Damn.
Do you enjoy what you do?
Yeah, like I absolutely love it. The only thing that comes with scaling a brand is that, yes, of course, you're doing something that you love, but when it becomes so voluminous, it obviously can take that fun away from it.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to spend 12 hours on one single pair and, you know, go into every nook and cranny, get a small brush out, like get fabric paint on the stitching, but it's not feasible as a business. It's not, you know, and I mean, to be honest, like
you need to work efficiently.
You have to work efficiently.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
The biggest thing that I've learned over the years is that actually the key to business is doing less with less. Doing more with less.
Yeah.
I read a book called Profit First, and that was a game changer for me. That really kind of set the tone between expenses versus profit and how you have to get that fine balance. And at the end of the day, if you're not making profit and if you're actually at a loss, you need to cut whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Your business is mainly profit, though, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, of course.
Yeah,
like, you know,
damn right. Damn right. Yeah.
Look, I'm all right, but, you know, by no means am I, you know, extremely wealthy. Like, you know, if I was to look at where I am on my journey, like, I'd say that I'm still in year 1.
Yeah.
Like, I've still got so much further to go.
But what you've just said is amazing, and I'll tell you why. The fact that from an outsider's point of view, it looks like you've done so much and your mentality's there is what makes me know they're your scale and you'll really, really do it.
I was going to say, obviously, I don't know whether you want to talk about this on the pod, but you're bringing out,
of course.
You're bringing out some products, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one thing that I will say from the get-go about scaling, and people might disagree, but I mean, I've lived life as a grafter. Like, you know, I've done the 16-hour days. I've slept at the unit. I've done all-nighters. I haven't been to sleep. Like, I've been there and I've done it. And obviously I've had kind of like, where my business has grown, but then actually personally, it's been a detriment to my health. So I'm all for like scalability. But the biggest thing that like I've learned is that everything will come in its time and that direction is far more superior to pace.
Yeah.
As long as you're going in the right direction, you'll get there. And actually like slowing down to enjoy the process, you're probably going to get further.
I couldn't agree with you more, man. When I remember when I started out doing freelance videography, everything, the way that I used to view everything when I used to do everything before when I was a little bit younger was all I saw was the end goal. As I started just to put one foot in front of the other and just do the little things that I had to every single day, I noticed the most progress, and that's kind of what got me to where I am today.
And as well, you're going to have a hell of a long time doing this.
I know, man.
And, you know, like, do you want to enjoy that 10-year process?
Yeah.
Or do you want to be or do you not want to enjoy it and be so stressed because you're trying to push it too much?
Yeah.
Like, you have to live this process. And actually, when people say, like, oh, do you love what you do? Like, yeah, of course. Like, I love, you know, I used to love cleaning my trainers. I love what we do. But it's more now, it's more that I love owning the brand and I love what we provide and I like the scalability side of it.
Yeah.
So I think it's just over the years, I've just kind of.
You've also grown as a person though throughout this period.
What was I like when you first met? No, but I know. Go on.
No, like, so obviously what you love and what you enjoy has changed because you've changed. So as well as the brand, do you know what I mean? And when I say changed, I don't want you to take that in a way of a negative. Like, obviously you've grown as an individual with the brand. So the things that you love and enjoy, I mean, we did things that I can't even say 4 years ago that we used to love, and we couldn't think of anything worse right now. Do you know what I mean? But for me, that shows growth. And I think that's the same thing where you've kind of not fallen out of love with the actual being in there and cleaning, but fallen in love with, when am I going to hit my next target? Or when can I get my next unit? Or, do you know what I mean? Those type of things.
I mean, to be honest, I still love cleaning.
Oh, for real?
Like, I'm very happy when I'm hands-on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really enjoy the phone work as much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard, you know, the brand grew because I was so personable and I got on with everybody.
Mm.
But then eventually, however many years down the line, there's only so much of myself that I can give to people. So now I don't man the phone in the day, like the customer service. Like the best thing that I ever did for business, and the worst thing is that all of our customer communication is done on WhatsApp Business. It's brilliant. It's personable. It's easy for people. We've had the new phone for 6 months. There's 2,000 conversations on it.
Yeah, damn.
It's hectic.
That's so long. I hate getting back to people, man. It's the worst thing.
This is the thing. Like, and I do it in like a huge numbers.
Yeah.
And it kind of takes that ability to kind of plan your day and to be kind of proactive with how you plan your day and what you go about. And anybody can kind of car crash. So having Reese there to kind of handle the phone, it's been perfect for me because
just to the people just to the people that don't already know, Reese is somebody that you've brought on board to help you.
So Reese is pretty much like my right hand man. I got a lot of love for the kid. Like
shout out Reese, man.
I got a lot of love. I got a lot of respect. I know that I can trust him. He's one of the kindest, nicest lads that has worked for me. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, he hasn't got a bad bone in him, and it's class. Like it's world class.
Yeah.
You know, I've had people in the business before, and I've been on holiday, and I'm just like checking the camera constantly.
You feel like you don't need to do that now.
And like obviously I've just been to South Africa for like 3 weeks, and I didn't check in once, like on the cameras.
Yeah.
Because I trust him. And that's so important when it comes to hiring people.
I actually remember when a little bit further back when you did all of the customer service stuff, when you had a few members in the team that maybe weren't pulling their weight like Reese does now, and it ate you alive, bro. It really did.
It was hard. I mean, this is the thing that people don't, and it's so hard for friends to understand it at times. I know you do, but like, you know, I've lost friends. The bulk of my day is getting up and being absolutely bombarded by messages on which I am grateful for, of course.
1,000,000%.
But all I'm doing all day is like reply. Like my WhatsApp, I look at it as a to-do list. I reply, archive, and then when they reply, it pops back up. So then, like, it gets to the end of the day, I just don't want to go on my phone. I don't have the energy to actually have that social communication.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's been the biggest change, but it makes a big difference. And like I said, like now that Reese kind of looks after the phone, it allows me to go in. I like cleaning because I'm great at it. It's what started the business. When I do it, I can see the lads working a little bit quicker. But then it also allows me to kind of have 2 hours where I'm doing videography or I'm doing social media. And obviously I have ADHD, so I work my best when I'm hyper-focused. If my engagement and my attention is flickering, I get nothing done. I can get into like paralysis almost. Yeah. So being able to kind of actually just do deep focus work, which is the biggest skill anybody can learn, has really helped me to kind of accelerate my growth in the past couple of years.
Yeah. So you think that, if anything, when you work with it, your ADHD actually helps you massively? Yeah,
massively. So, I mean, I got diagnosed 2 years into the brand. And it allowed me to kind of gain a better understanding and an awareness of actually what it was, which is brilliant. And it's been the best thing for me to kind of actually learn what my weaknesses are and my strengths. Mm-hmm. And there's different ways that it will affect me. I mean, with ADHD, you can hyper-focus. So the day that we did, 52 pairs, I mean, it was like I was on speed. I was just at that sink, just cleaning away.
You weren't on speed though, right?
No.
Good man.
It was just tunnel vision.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I can become quite disorientated when there's so many things going on. I can get sensory overload. Mm-hmm. Now you've got to remember the hard, and it's all, the thing with the Sneakerdoc is that actually it's very challenging for somebody with ADHD because there's like 200 pairs of trainers behind you, and it's like there's 200 different jobs.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like, shit, where do I start?
Like an overload.
Yeah. So like I've had to improve how, stuff like my organization, how I'm efficient. I've had to learn how to time block. Whereas over the years, I haven't just had to grow the brand. I've had to actually grow the brand with, my ADHD and get over certain challenges that it's kind of actually that the two paired together have brought. Mm-hmm. And it's been good, but it's been a challenge at the same time. And, from it, I've developed, the brand's developed. So, but it's not always straightforward.
Yeah.
I wanted to, obviously, I touched on it a little bit earlier, but I wanted to get into more of the products, man, because I'm just curious about what the process is of getting everything together and just to kind of just explaining what they are as well to the people.
No, of course. So, I mean, products are a big thing for me. You know, trying to scale a service-based brand is incredibly hard.
The only output that you have, the only overhead really is your time. And Absolutely. That's it. And it will take up all of it sometimes.
And where on earth do I get a sneaker cleaner from? I mean, obviously, you know, there's more
Fiverr?
and more people trying it now.
I feel like
I know what you're saying.
No.
I feel like it's a job that anybody could do, though. Really.
Yeah, but you can't just like hire somebody in a straight, you know, that they're great at it straight away.
And give them a pair of LVs.
Like, yeah, do you know what I mean? And that's your liability.
What's the process of training someone?
Just a lot of time and a lot of watching over them and giving them the kind of the easy stuff that they can't fuck up and slowly working, you know, the way through it. Suede is the hardest thing to clean. And
yeah, I gave you a pair of my suede crepes. They've never been the same since, to be fair.
Look at you jarring me like that.
I'm joking, by the way.
But no, that's the thing, like, you know, so when I would onboard somebody, they would not touch suede. It would have to be me. And that's what I need kind of customers to understand, is that actually it's so hard to scale because I'm not prepared to kind of drop our standards or to put the liability of your trainers in somebody's hand that isn't up to scratch.
Something, let's say, for example, somebody gives you a pair of suede trainers and they are expensive and they go back and they're not happy with the service. You might lose that customer forever.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why, you know, it takes a while. When you're like, shit, we're really busy, I need to employ somebody, I can't just click my fingers.
Yeah.
You know, it's like almost like a 2 to 3 month process until that actually takes place and becomes very beneficial to the business. And there's been times where, you know, I've had a bigger team and it actually hasn't worked out as well.
What was the maximum amount of people that you had within the unit?
So I've had like 4, but then we've also had kind of like, I have a lot of people that work freelance because it's just not worth having people in there full time. And actually having people that are, so like, you know, painters part-time, a cobbler part-time, because we're not at that stage with those services where I need it full-time. And actually as a business, it doesn't make sense for those to be prioritized over cleaning because that's our bread and butter. That's what makes the money and it's what we're known for. So for people like that, I always used to have kind of, you know, people on kind of a freelance or working part-time.
Yeah.
One of the biggest lessons that I had, so I remember looking behind one day and I had about 250 trainers and I was like, shit, wait, like, this is too much to handle. And I went and hired 3 people all at once. You have to really dedicate your time to that new person. You have to really build that trust, build their awareness of what you're doing as a brand, what your values are, you know, how you should provide a service to customers. Really nail it and then go again. So it's like, you know, for me, recently it's been, all right, cool, let's get this person in. Let's get them to a point of perfection. Not perfection, you're not going to get that, but you know what I mean, where they're where they're shit hot and I trust them.
Get them up to scratch.
Yeah. And then I'm going to go again.
Yeah.
But you think I'm going to do 2 at once? Not a chance.
Yeah.
And as well, like the biggest thing that I've learned is to actually like creep your overheads up. It has to make sense. So just ease yourself into that.
And so finding talent is tough, man. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to bring someone into the brand now, they're inevitably only going to grow with you and they're probably going to take on a role that's going to be higher up in the business further down the line. And finding that talent is so tough.
Obviously, like talent is important when it comes to technical things, you know, whether it's like videography or, you know, photography, marketing.
Would you class your line of work as a talent?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
100%. But it's not a talent that people train in. So obviously it's a talent that you have to teach people from the get-go. So for me, like the biggest things have been all about attitude, their work ethic.
You're invested more in the person as opposed to the skill set that comes with the person.
I was going to say with them as well, they have to be invested in your brand.
Yeah, and that makes all of the difference. I mean, you know, I think this massively. I mean, there was a time when I used to recruit kind of roles within marketing, and you could have the most technical understanding of how a camera works, if you don't understand or like the subject that you're shooting, you're going to be shit compared to someone that really has a passion for it because you know what to capture. And that's the same with kind of like, you know, like you say, like someone has to be into their trainers. They have to actually kind of understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. You know, a lot of people ask me why I haven't got into handbags, and it's definitely something that I'd think about.
What do you mean, gone into handbags?
Into handbag cleaning, which is...
Oh, right, okay.
Bad things coming through
we
to the
do it
unit,
every now and again.
Shock. That's where his head goes to. You're talking about, I want to scale the business on it. He's thinking, you're going to get bare things into the unit, man.
Am I wrong, though? Am I wrong?
No, of course. But not me, like, as in, like, but obviously the business would get more like... But... I don't...
You threw him? You threw him.
Animal, man. No, obviously, like, the thing with... I don't know like how a handbag should look or like how it's meant to look at its top form.
Yeah, but when you see a pair of crepes, you're like, they're fresh.
I know, do you know what I mean? Like, I know how they're meant to look. And that was always kind of like my cutting edge. Like I knew how to get them to that stage where they had to be. Mm-hmm. Like even down to the way that I lace. Get customers coming, right? And they're like, oh, do you want to lace? I'm like, yeah. They're like, please lace it. Like, I'm like, trust me, like you've never seen someone lace like me. Like I lace them better than factory. Like, lacing is an art. It's almost like plaiting hair. Like the weave has to be perfect.
Yeah,
fucking hate
it's
lacing. When the Nikes come now and they're not laced, it's
bro,
the
listen,
worst
like,
thing.
If all else fails for me, right? Yeah, I'm going to work in a factory lacing. No one can chat shit to me about lacing. Like I am quick,
bro. If things go wrong, there'll probably be some AI shit that's gonna probably lace in the next 5 years, bro.
Oh, I've looked for it. Don't get me wrong. I've looked for it, man.
Wait, are you on ChatGPT?
Nah,
I've used it.
You've told me
bro,
about it. I need to look into
so
it. That shit's
interesting,
crazy,
bro. It like I would just the first time that I figured out it was a thing, I just sat there on my laptop for a whole day. I had work to do as well. Sat on my laptop for like 5 hours straight, just chatting to ChatGPT.
Bro, this guy,
it is so interesting. It knows everything.
We had work to do, bro.
Do you not think that's scary?
No, it's so scary.
Fucking nuts.
But let me tell you, bro. It come 4 or 5 o'clock. Me and H will check in 3-4 times throughout the day. How you getting on? Done this, done that. Yeah. Bro, what? You done the things? Nah, bro, I haven't. You know, because bro, why not? Because me and H, we're quick to check on each other, innit? If someone's not pulling their weight, we're gonna tell you because that's just how we work. No, man, I haven't done it. Because bro, why not? Like you've been at home all day. I've been chatting to the ChatGPT, bro, all day. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, bro, he was asking it for like how he's going to cook his dinner, bro. It was like, bro, listen to this, man. This is what he told me how to cook my chicken. Marinated this.
Right. Do you know what's nuts about it? It was 6 a.m. and I was like, I've been saying that I want to switch up the way that I train. I haven't. So I just typed into it. I was like, can you write me a 3-day split for functional fitness? Bro, and it ripped me like a full 3-day split, like with Metcons at the end of each session, like really short ones. Bro, it is fucking crazy. And the thing is, I haven't even tapped into any of it yet.
I mean, that's so scary. Surely there's a guy like that's just like, you know what I mean? Surely there's like some...
Oh, bro, because it's writing out actual... Bro, it's writing out things in 30 seconds, bro.
Obviously, I don't know exactly how it works, but I'm pretty sure that it's just a curation of everything that's on the internet. I'm pretty sure.
When it gathers the data and then distributes accordingly. Yeah. That's crazy, bro.
It thinks for itself as well.
Smart, but it's scary.
It's scary, bro.
Dangerous.
It's scary.
It's not like Siri.
Yeah, but this is in its
for itself.
This is in its lowest form though as well, which is the thing. This is the start, bro. This is the start, and you can hold a conversation that's better than 90% of human beings with this computer, bro.
Have you never seen that program? I think it's like, is it Humans or Robots?
Yes.
And she clarts the
bro. I studied it in media studies at college, bro. And the robots, they were walking around like, Didn't the dad start banging it or something? Oh, so they started banging it.
I was going to say.
The robot was fit though.
There's a program.
Smash.
There's a program now that someone created with ChatGPT and it edits video, bro. You'll put video in there. You'll say exactly how you want it edited and it edits video.
Class, we're out of a job, bro, already. Great. 6 months in and we're out of a job.
No, but the thing is though, is an AI can't hold a camera, bro. I want to know about the products, man. This is me the 3rd time I'm asking you now.
Okay.
Right. I want to talk about what they are.
Right.
What the process was, everything along those type of lines.
Stay on track now. Right. So obviously the hardest thing with a service-based business is scaling it because you have to get people employed that have a set skill. And it's very hard to do that within my game because of the liability of how expensive the trainers are. So obviously the way that I got into sneaker cleaning was through sneaker care products. and loving sneakers when I was younger. So a natural path of having a brand that is a sneaker care brand is to obviously launch our own products. And who better to formulate a product than someone that cleans trainers day in, day out? So, you know, I've tried launching products for so long now. The issue that I have is that
I was going to say, you've been sitting on them for a minute, bro.
What products are they? Because obviously a lot of the people at home probably won't know.
Yeah, so the products that customers already know about. So we have sneaker trees. So obviously they're basically go inside the trainer. They're there to protect the shape, prevent creasing. And for a very long time, I used to give them away with a clean. I think
I've got like 6 or 7 of them pairs at home, you know. Every time I travel, it's just...
They clash, you know what I mean? And it obviously had the branding on. And
yeah, the Sneakerdoc, the brand goes with me everywhere in the world that I go, bro.
I've developed wipes. I've got like 20,000 wipes ready to launch. The issue that I have is that I then need to get the individual sachets into packaging. So I've got to really kind of like decipher, okay, do I do it in 3 packs, 10 packs, or 15 packs, or 30? And then I actually need to go and get that packaging made.
By the way, guys, I've used the wipes, and they're fucking sick, bro.
Mate, they're class.
They're
like
fucking
100%.
sick. Like, don't just get like the Johnson's baby wipes that after you've had your little, like, to do your trainers and or a toothbrush. Like, these proper things, bro.
Nah, it is like, obviously it has like the right formulation of chemicals. You know, obviously you have like the 2 side of it.
Yeah,
it makes a lot of difference. We've got that. We've got our own cleaning solution. I use a cleaning solution every day within the business. Mm-hmm. I need to decant it from these huge 25-litre drums into kind of consumer size.
Would you market that from business to business, or would you market that from business to consumer?
I'm going to do both, because like you said, you know, there's a lot of people trying to do what we do, and that's fine. Can't control that. So let's support people like that. Let's develop a product that we can then sell to people like that to grow from there. We've also got things such as, you know, like your protector sprays. So there's quite a lot that we're ready to go. The hardest thing has been the capital to go into launching the products, because you know, there's always things like the new HQ, putting stuff into the service. But yeah, products are going to get launched this year, 100%. Like, we're just getting the website rebuilt, just starting to do kind of product imagery. So it'll be coming this year.
Dope.
But I think at the same time, it's probably like the perfectionist thing as well. I haven't wanted to launch until it's perfect. And like, that's probably what's holding me back.
Honestly, sometimes just launching something that's imperfect, and then you're going to come across the mistakes that you're going to make. You're going to come across all these obstacles, and you're probably going to learn so much more from just going head first, rather than holding out until you're waiting for the perfect time and everything's perfect. And
it's probably going to take me setting boundaries and being disciplined in terms of my time, because the service is chaotic.
And it's kind of your priority.
It's our bread and butter, do you know what I mean?
But I said this to you the other day when we came to the unit. I know for a fact, once you launch the products, they will take over. They will do so much more for you than your service is doing.
Actually, there's a point where you have to, you know, when it comes to pricing your service, you have to do what you have to do to make it make sense.
Yeah.
You know, at some point, I'd like to rely on the products for most of our profit, and then be able to provide the service more of kind of like a nice thing to customers from a brand perspective, to kind of, you know, have people included and to actually have them present within the business.
And kind of market that as more of a premium.
Yeah. Whereas at the moment, you know, I have to rely on the service to make things work. I have to do the service to get the capital up to launch the products. So at some point, like, I'd like the products to become the main part of the business, so that the service side of it is more of a nice, fun thing to provide to customers, instead of like this, you know, this really needs to work.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a sneaker, like they do like sneaker wipes and cleaning products in like Selfridges and Harvey Nichols. I can't remember what the brand is. It was a few years ago I used to see it. I haven't seen them for a while. It comes to like the clear case and stuff like that. I'd imagine kind of your brand's somewhat like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, obviously we've worked with Selfridges from like the service perspective, and the way that so obviously like we've had a rebrand over the year. It's always been the Sneakerdoc, but at some point, I mean, you'll remember, I don't know if you will, H, you might do. Originally it was a sneaker on the side. It was like a lightning bolt that was lime green, and then it said the Sneakerdoc.
I actually do remember that.
Yeah, and we changed it very slightly. It was very typography based, and took away the trainer, took away the lightning bolt, brought in the teal, and it just had a line. And what it allowed me to do was to justify the brand next to anything. So Yeezy, the Sneakerdoc, Selfridges, the Sneakerdoc. That was kind of the ideology behind the rebrand, is that actually it became much more of a premium brand that could also be associated with the bigger brands.
What was that like working with like a big brand like Selfridges or Harvey Nicks? I know that you did something with them.
Don't hold back because I know what your answer is.
I actually don't know.
Listen,
That's the
like, you know, it's interesting. I'm a big believer that direct to consumer is the best way to go. You know, when I had the thing with Selfridges, it was, I couldn't afford to have somebody at the shop 24/7. It wouldn't make sense. I could not financially make it work. So it worked out that it was a drop-off location that was ran by their team. So customers would walk in, would go to their team and say, "Oh, hi, I want to put my trainers in." No matter how many times you popped in, the same story was like, customers would go in, "Oh, nobody wants to help me put my trainers in." You know, you have to be accountable for everything in life. I could have gone in more, 100%, but it was just a matter of fact that like the customer's experience when I worked with retailers it wasn't directly with me. I couldn't control it.
Yeah, they're never going to treat your baby like
They're never going to treat
you
my
would.
baby. Why would they, man? Like, do you
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
I mean?
100%.
So what happened? The
And I'm a
staff.
small brand compared to like Louis Vuitton, and like if I was that retail worker and I had, you know, somebody wanting to spend a few grand at Louis Vuitton and I was going to get commission off it, I'm going to go towards it. Like, it's a dog eat dog world. Like,
Yeah, bro.
I appreciate that and I understand it. And it just got to a point where the most powerful thing to do was to take back control. Like now, right, I've had customers that have come over from, you know, the point of access through retail where they just obviously just come straight to me now. I get to meet them. They get to meet me. They buy into the brand more. I've got the trainers straight away. They're not sat in store for 5 days without me knowing. It's just such a smoother process.
So what happened with the staff in the retail stores? Well, actually, they just weren't with the orders. They just weren't really given the customer service that you wanted.
Yeah, pretty much.
Almost writing it off if someone would come in and ask to get their trainers cleaned.
Yeah, so like, you know, I'd have a call on a Sunday, like, I've been around 7 members of staff. No one really knows where they're going. It's a Sunday night.
Do you think it was an
like, as much
organisation thing?
No, you're
Or do
at
you think
the end
it
of the
was-
day, bro, as a Selfridges standpoint, you were at the bottom of their priority list. That's just where it was.
And that's how it felt, and that's how it was. But at the same time,
Why should it be like that?
not why should it be like that? I mean, that's just the way it is. You know, in a humble way, like I was still a small fish. I did very well to get my foot in the door.
How did that happen?
How did it happen? I mean, on both times, both brands approached me for it.
That's amazing. What was that feeling
So
like?
I mean, with
Was it a
Harvey,
DM?
Nah,
Email?
nah. So like,
What's up, James? Want to come drop off the Sneakerdoc in store?
Nah, but obviously you see stuff like
Fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji.
I mean, it all comes from growing relationships within those stores with the right people, you know, with the decision makers.
Yeah.
Now, back in my early days when I started the business, and my mindset around this has changed a lot now, but in the early days, I had no overheads. I was working at my mom's house. Whatever money came in was mine. So yeah, like, I can tell you, like, I was at Harvey Nichols. I was with the personal shoppers. I was buying my clobber, building a relationship, and they were like, "Oh, like, what do you do?" "Oh, this is what I do." So that's how they got to know about the business and the brand, because I was in there kind of building relationships, spending money. And then, yeah, one day they were like, "What about if we work together and you provide it to our customers?" And that's how Harvey Nichols came about.
Was Harvey Nicks before Selfridges?
Yeah, Harvey Nichols was like 10 months in, I think, which is wild to think.
Yeah, that is crazy.
nuts.
I remember, like, I was buzzing, like, you know, I remember,
You
like,
would be,
being in
bro.
there, like, taking a picture of, like, my notepad, and like, it was cool, man. Like,
Yeah.
it was cool. When I posted, like, I've been working with Selfridges, phone is popping off. Do you know what I mean? Like, posts that are getting, like, 400 likes, usually. I'm getting, like, 2,000 likes, 400 comments, like, because people are
Making me
so
smile
invested
just
in the
hearing you
story. Like,
talk
that's the
about
thing
it.
with the Sneakerdoc. People have loved the story of it growing.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Like, my mate was like, "Oh, you've got like a weird cult following." And like, I don't think it's weird. Like, it's bizarre. Like, I'm like, sometimes I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
But it's great. Like, there's so many people that are like backing me, and that kind of helps me to keep going as well.
One time where I really, really realized, obviously, how much of a cult following you actually have created with the brand was in that pretty shitty period, obviously, where you got robbed. The amount of support on socials was crazy, bro.
Yeah, like, it was wild, you know. And I mean, just a very short glance and we'll go into it. So back at the end of July, woke up one morning to find out that we'd been broken into.
This was at your previous unit,
Yeah,
right?
it was at my old unit.
What was the first thought?
Like, I remember I was sat down eating my Weetabix, happy as Larry, and my Ring doorbell went off, and I'm like, why is my Ring doorbell going off? Like when I look at my phone in the morning, there were loads of notifications.
Yeah.
So I hadn't got to that point in the day where I'd looked at my phone and gone through them, but I was there eating my Weetabix, and my Ring goes off, and I'm like, why the fuck is my Ring going off at 7 a.m. in the morning? I looked at it, and there's just two guys from the units at the top of the trading estate staring at my shutter, and I'm like, yo, like, lads, what you doing? And they were like, mate, you've been robbed. And my heart sank. Like, it was...
Oh, bro, my heart's just sank for you, bro. Fuck.
It was fucked. Like, it was the worst feeling. Like, I remember, like, I jumped up. My ex-partner at the time, I was like, I need to go. I've been robbed. She got changed. We jumped in the car, plotted my car back over to the unit. My dad, at the time, lived closer to that unit by about 20 minutes. And I remember, like, calling him when he got there, and I was like, what's it like? And he just, like, and I just remember him going, like, mate, they fucking took it all. And my heart sunk. Like,
what was it all?
So it was about 130 pairs, which is probably like between 80 and 90 grand.
I was gonna say you don't really clean cheap trainers, bro.
No, exactly. And and I thought I'd done everything to secure it. I didn't think it was a weak spot.
Yeah.
I had X, Y, and Z from a security perspective. We had like a wrought iron gate on the main door. We had a security door that had like locks at the top, the side, the bottom.
You thought you were good?
We had a wall in between the shutter. I never thought, and I guess that's my naivety, and it's something that I blame myself for.
Something that you learnt from massively.
Something that I learned from as well.
Yeah.
And now I literally hyper analyze security in so many aspects. But yeah, like I had got there, and it was, I literally remember like I almost crashed the car because I literally screamed into the car park, and I just remember like just going and booting the door, like just pretty much scream, and like just out of like desperation.
It all just came out.
I didn't know how to handle it. I just remember thinking like, how the fuck am I going to get through this? This is like that thing that I've gone, imagine, and then it finally and it actually happens. Not like imagine like if it did, like I've gone, that's the maddest thing that could ever happen.
And it happened.
I've taken precautions, every precaution that I can do. I'm insured. And then one day it fucking happened. And like there's so many different aspects to that trauma. There's a customer side of it.
Yeah, imagine, bro, like imagine feeling like you've got like 80 people's pairs of shoes, bro.
Absolutely. And the thing is, right, I'm not a prick. I love my customers. I love people. I'm very empathetic. I can put myself in people's shoes. So I'm going like, fuck, like these customers that I love to serve are now without trainers because I've been broken into. There's a side of it where I go, okay, I'm insured, but this is a huge hit. Am I ever going to survive it? Is my business going to survive it? And then, right, there was this feeling of like, I have sacrificed so much in 4 years. I have put so much energy. I have lost so many friends. I've lost so much of my mental health. I poured so much into this brand for 4 years. And in a night, these twats have literally came in and they've just absolutely obliterated it. Because at the time, like you do go for that negativity bias and you're like, fuck, I'm never getting back from this. So obviously, when it happened, I remember I was shit scared to put it out to the public. I was just like, nobody is ever going to want to use me again. I'm finished. The past 4 years that I put into this brand, they were literally for nothing. Like it's over. Then a couple of friends were like, no, like you have to just put it out there. Like, it's not going to be negative. So then I remember...
it was quite the opposite, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. And the issue that I had is that I couldn't do it for a while because obviously when they robbed the unit, they took the work phone and they took 2 laptops. So I had nothing. I had no way of contacting customers. I had no way of getting into my social media because we have 2-factor authentication.
Yeah.
And then I remember on the Thursday, got the phone and I was like, right, okay, shit, need to do this. Turn the phone on to 350 WhatsApp messages. I then had to call 90 people and be like, hi, by the way, just to let you know, we've been robbed. Which, at a moment in time when, you know, I'm still trying to process what's happened, my head was fucked. Having to be the responsible person and do the right thing and tell those people, every single phone call was so hard and literally took every little bit of happiness out of me.
What were people saying to you on the phone?
I mean, look, you know, there were some people that were,
oh, fucking hell, mate. Me LVs.
and of course, you know, a lot of people that were first time users, you know, obviously we're very like, you know, what's going to happen?
It's not the best first impression, let's be honest.
Oh, of course.
I mean, we can joke about it now, but like.
And then there were people that knew me, that, you know, and I'm like, look, like I come from a good background. I've worked very hard. You know, I'm not going to let you go without, but at the same time, this is the most fucked up situation that I never thought would happen.
Was there anyone that before obviously you put the post and kind of solidified that it actually happened that didn't believe you and thought, has he just tried to do on a little sly one here?
I had a couple of people that I couldn't get in contact with question me when the post had gone up, and I'm like, please just look on the post. I'm not making this up. Like, it's pretty much like written my business off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making this up. There's news articles about it. I'm really sorry to tell you that X, Y, and Z has happened. I don't want to be telling you. I'm going to sort you out, but please just like believe what I'm saying. Like, I would not be having this conversation with you out of choice. But yeah, obviously I went through all those phone calls, posted it on social media.
You uploaded the video from the Ring doorbell, right?
Yeah.
Of the dudes actually coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. And fucking hell, it went off. My phone just started pinging. Like, so like there was just comment after comment, like after like, shares. I mean, it's probably saw by like millions of people because obviously there were various influencers, celebrities, footballers that shared that post.
What was that feeling like of having everybody support the cause so much?
Overwhelming, like I didn't deserve it.
Why did you feel like that?
Because I felt responsible. Like no matter, even if I couldn't have, what am I trying to say here? Like,
take your time, bro.
You always think that you're always like, I could have done more. Even though I'd done so much to secure that unit, like in the back of your mind, you're still like, I could have done fucking more. And this is all my fault. I'm the one that should take the blame for everything. I'm the one that should carry the weight of this. And
it was like you were getting all of this positive and
absolutely.
Like love and like, it felt like bittersweet kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, you know, like the only thing that it did was it allowed me to realize that it wouldn't be the end of the Sneakerdoc.
Yeah.
But at a time when the only thing that I care about, right, is getting those trainers back and getting to the bottom of it.
Didn't really give a fuck.
I didn't really care.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was so grateful for it, but I just wanted the trainers back, and I still had to deal with all of the customers, and they were my main priority. And I just wanted to prove to those customers, like, I'm going to do everything that I can do to help you out. Like, please believe me. Like, it's fucking hard. Yeah. Like, you know, I've had conversations with customers where they're like, what about my trainers? And I'm like, I get it, honestly. Trust me, I get it, because I'm dealing with this times 130. I'm taking this as if I've been robbed of 130 pairs, and that it's because at the end of the day,
they were yours.
If insurance want to be twats, if we don't have a high enough, you know, policy or like whatever, like at the end of the day, it's me that's going to have to pay for this situation. Mm-hmm. So I get it. I really get it. I really get the pressure, because it's not just one pair; it's 130 pairs, and that's fucking mind blowing.
Did you manage to successfully get everybody their trainers back?
No, not at all. But we got some back. You know,
how did that happen?
I mean, I can't go into like obviously complete detail, but you know, I was a persistent little shit. I didn't let things lie. I chased up every lead. You know,
as you would, bro. That was your life.
I was like a dog on heat, like, you know, like, because of what was at stake. Do you know what I mean? Like, I saw that. I was like, how am I going to sort this out? My only way of sorting this out is to actually go into like detective mode, go out onto the streets, try and hunt these people down. And, you know, we found out certain facts, and we found out certain things from certain people. You know, this information got fed onto the police. They did a couple of raids, located the van.
Found some stuff.
Well, no, they didn't find it in the van. I think it was like after a week where information started kind of like leaking out. They were like, apparently, you know, it was guys that were locally. It's never been proved. Police aren't interested in pursuing it anymore. But information started, kind of Chinese whispers started happening. Various things started getting uncovered. Police started doing their digging. Obviously, the post went viral. And I think the suspected people didn't really understand the power that the brand had. And I don't think they really understood actually that how many people would stand behind me.
Well, yeah, bro, if you've done something and then you've got a post which has reached millions of people specifically targeted in the area where you're working.
Well, like, they're too hot to handle.
And you're local.
You know what I mean?
It's like, oh, shit. Like,
exactly. I think like it got way too hot to handle. Do you know what I mean? Like, look, we service so many different types of people. People from certain walks of life. Don't care. Nothing wrong with it. Like, it's some of my best customers. And these customers are probably more dangerous than the people that rob me. And they're like, look, we got your back. Like, or they were like saying like, what a stupid move it was. Like, why would you do it? Like, you know, like, what are you going to gain from it?
Do you think that maybe it was personal?
No, not at all. Maybe it became personal when I started like, you know, poking my nose in and putting myself in harm's way to try and find out information, driving around places at like 2 a.m, trying to look for certain vehicles, look for certain people, look for certain signs. But, you know, I don't think it was a personal attack now, not at all. Like, someone that had come to the unit, they'd seen what was there, they thought, fucking, obviously, a great opportunity.
this is what I was just about to say.
Not understanding the power of the brand.
Yeah.
It then went really fucking viral, and they're like, shit. Because obviously, like, we found about 75 pairs down a country lane, and it was about 2 minutes from the unit. And they were dumped in bin bags. Each bin bag had like a bit of rubber in it. I don't know if the rest are out there. I don't know if they've still got them. Still
so
like,
you only managed to secure that
there's
amount.
still like 60 pairs missing.
And you're still ongoing with insurances and all of that kind of stuff.
Insurance have been a pain in the, like, not a pain in the arse. They've just been slow. Like, it's a huge claim.
They're doing everything they can realistically not to pay out, aren't they?
I don't want to think like that, but like, but they're just gonna take their time. And the hardest thing is that they have control. I can't turn around to insurance and go, by the way, customers are pressuring me for an update. Please, can you go and fuck yourselves? And give me what I need. I just have to.
I don't care, bro.
No, so I just have to like follow the right process, do my due diligence, complete X, Y, and Z document, provide them with all the information. But it's on their terms at the end of the day. You know, like, it took them 2.5, 3 months to ask me to get from every single customer an email that had like full name, age of trainers, and then confirming they hadn't claimed on their own content insurance. Right. And I'm like, I could have done this from day dot. Like, so that's been hard, but it's out of my control. But you feel responsible for it.
And effectively, they're not going to be pestering your insurance. They're going to be pestering you.
Yeah, exactly.
So you are responsible in a sense, in their eyes.
Absolutely, which you understand. But yeah, like I said, you know, we found them. I got a call. It was like just shy of 2 weeks after it happening. Turned on the customer service phone in the morning. There's a message on WhatsApp. Hi, I think we've got something that belongs to you. And it was just like a picture of, there was a pair of Alexander Wangs. There was a grey pair of Yeezy 500s. There was one left shoe of like a Louis Vuitton heel. And then there was an Air Force that I'd had customed by a guy called Cam Creates for a London event we did. And it had the Sneakerdoc on it. And when I saw that photo, I was like, what the fuck?
Where are you? Where is it?
Where are you?
Yeah.
Called them. And he was like, we're at this farm. Like, I'm like, okay, cool. So I bombed there. Seen it. It's in the bag. I'm like, yeah, this is my shit. Like, where was it? They're showing me like the field. And I'm like, I'm driving along the field. And I could just see like 4 bin bags. So I've got out my car. I looked. And like.
Bin bags full of crepes?
Well, I didn't know that, but I could just see bin bags that matched like what they had.
Yeah.
And basically, right, it was in a cattle field, and they feed the cattle like on a night time in the morning. And they'd gone to feed the cattle in the morning and seen a black bin liner. So of course they're like, yo, we need to take this out. Taking it down to like the main HQ. And then someone that was kind of like around 20 had obviously seen the viral story and then associated the brand, called me. I've gone to the field, and there were like 4 or 5 bags in this like one hedge. and I couldn't get to it because it was all brambles, but I could walk round like the field, and I stepped in cow shit. That was the worst thing I've ever back like a sneaker cleaner's worst nightmare. I was just like, who cares? And I could grab, and I remember grabbing one bag. It was heavy, man, and there were 7 pairs in it. And I remember thinking like, shit, like I've got a good 35 here, mad. And then it got to a point where like I got like, you know, like Reese and my dad to like bring me like long clothes down because I had like shorts and a t-shirt on at the time. It was summer. Went into the brambles, got the other 4 bags, turned around, and in the opposite hedge there were like 10 bags.
What was that feeling like?
I was on a high. Like there's a guy now that I've actually became very good friends with. He was a first time user. He gave me a pair of Travis Scotts.
Damn.
We joke about it now, yeah, because like he gave me them on the Thursday. They were ready on the Friday, but he just couldn't be bothered to come and get them. And then it happened on the Monday night.
Fuming.
But I remember finding like Jordan's, like I remember finding his Travis's, and I was just like, mate, you never guess. I'm like, look at this. I'm like, fucking come on, like you know, them mad trainers.
Yeah.
And then there was like kind of like a heart sink when it was only 75.
Yeah.
Well, it was like 75 pairs, and then like really annoyingly, there was like 8 single shoes, like no left or no right shoe, which is like a kick in the teeth. Do you know what I mean?
100, yeah.
But yeah, so like obviously they'd been dumped. I did a CCTV trial of like the area of like, this is the worst thing. The police did fuck all. Like they would not go out.
Why? Did they say it to you?
It's under-resourced, aren't they? Just don't really prioritize stuff. I remember like we literally went around the whole area, knocked on every single door with CCTV, and like I remember I don't know how people watch CCTV, right? Because it's the most boring thing in the world.
Yeah.
Just looking for that one thing, and you see like a car at like 4:42 come up the lane, stop where the trainers were found, stop for 3 minutes. So probably got out, clarted it that way, and then you see a car like go to the top, and it does like a turn and then looks down towards it for like 3 minutes. But it's night time, the number plate's reflective. The police didn't care. They were like, oh, well, if we can't have it from you, we'd have to go to the house and get it. I'm like, oh, right, okay, great, cheers. Yeah, like I did all of that, and then the hardest thing, I didn't put it out on social media that we'd found it because I still had hope that they would do a second batch, because the car that I saw on the CCTV would have only realistically fitted that many trainers, like 75 pairs in.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, they've done one batch.
So they're going to do it somewhere
They're gonna
else.
do a second batch, which made sense with like the random 1 pairs.
Yeah.
So for like a week, I was up at like 3:30, 4 every morning, because obviously that was the time it got dropped, and I was just driving down the lanes, driving round them, just in the hope that they were found. And I didn't want to put it up online in case they hadn't dumped them. But then like it got, I think, like a week later, and I was just like, yeah, like nah, nothing.
You can't just keep driving around early hours in the morning, going insane, bro.
Well, I was. Do you know what I mean? The biggest thing that happened during that first 3 week, nothing. I did absolutely fuck all to do with the business. I didn't get back on my feet. I didn't push back. I just chased this. You know,
so not only did you take this fat L, you hit a massive standstill as well.
Yeah, hit a massive standstill. That fucked us. Like that was hard, because obviously I just had the new shop. I'm dumping big money into the shop.
Because the landlord don't care that you got robbed. He still wants his rent.
Well, exactly. And I didn't really care like how long the new place would take to be done, because I had my old unit, and I was like, it's all right. Like I can earn X amount, dump X amount into the new place. If it takes me 5 months, it's fine. Then obviously what happened is, got broken into at my old unit, and it was like, I can never work from here again. So then I had to move into a building site. Like I remember Reese was cleaning out of like we had like when I moved into the office, it was a beautiful kitchen. It was the best feeling ever. I had like a beer fridge and everything. Had Reese cleaning out of the nice kitchen, and he's like marked all my nice grey kitchen up, because we had to clean out of this kitchen sink because like the industrial sinks weren't in place. But the worst part about it was that like when we got robbed, there was about $5,000 worth of orders that hadn't been paid for, and I was no longer going to get paid for. I then stopped business for like another 3 weeks. That's a big load of money that I'm not earning. And then I had to go and dump like X amount of money into the new place to make it secure. And as much as I would have liked to have given that to other people, that's one, what I pay insurance for. And two, if I can't afford to pay insurance and the business folds, I can't pay you out. I had to get back on our feet to keep things going. And to do that, I obviously had to put money into the new place. And my original plan was to kind of do that over a stretch period of time. But all of a sudden I had to just whang, bam.
It just felt like it sucked everything out of you.
Killed me, absolutely killed me, financially.
What was that time period like for you personally and your personal relationships? Because obviously your job holds enough stress anyway. But I feel like when just before the robbery, I feel like you got to a stage where you found your balance or were very close to finding it. But when something so shit effectively happens that is taking everything out of you with the business, did it have a knock-on effect on the people around you and how you operated on a social level?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, there's friendships that at the moment in time are no longer existent. And it's hard because, it's not that I think these people have anything to do with it. It's just that when we got robbed, I just had to get away from the area. I didn't want to be there anymore.
Yeah.
How did it affect you mentally, that whole situation?
Like, it absolutely fucked me. I mean, I'm a lot better now, but I was so paranoid. I couldn't walk down the street.
Thinking that the people that did it
I
were
thought
there.
they were just going to come and grab me, or they were going to, take me away.
Your head just was playing games and you didn't. You never knew what.
I was always scared to leave stuff at the old office, even though the new office now, has 3 times the amount of alarms, all the internal shutters, smoke cloaks. It's 24/7 monitored, right? I still shit myself, man. On
a PTSD kind of level of
100%. It gave me PTSD. It gave me so much anger towards the world. It absolutely fucked my trust. I was just I don't know who to trust. I don't know who's linked to it.
Well, yeah, the camera footage shows two or three dudes, right?
Yeah.
So, messed up in the video.
Yeah.
I
know what they were doing.
But you, obviously, like you're saying, your mind's already playing tricks on you. So it's well, who are these 2 or 3 dudes? Are they customers? Are they people that I think were close to me and knew what times I'm not going to be around, what time my phone's going to be off, etc. And thinking into that, that shit'll fuck you up,
And then as
bro.
well, there was no chance that I could be present with people in life, at that period of time.
Mine was constantly wondering.
I was just consumed with what had happened.
Yeah, you would be though, man.
Obviously, so at the time, I was with my ex, and that relationship ended, for different reasons, and it just played its time. But I remember, so when it had happened, happened on obviously the Monday night. The Saturday was her birthday, and it was horrendous. All I wanted to do was just I wanted her to have a nice day. And I remember, we went for breakfast at Medicine. My phone was blowing off. She was talking to me, and my mind, and it was just going straight past me.
It's going in and out.
Just going in and out. And I just felt fucking horrendous. I was just I'm poisoned right now. I've got so much anger and shit going on. It's meant to be your birthday. I'm not present. I can't. And I remember just saying just go and see your girls, and just go and have a good day. It's one of those. And
you just kind of just wanted to be on your own, bro, and just
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and
I mean, how did she take that?
In a good way. Obviously, I could see that it killed her. It was hard. Obviously, she wanted to spend her birthday with me, but that circumstance, at that point in time, I wasn't present. I wasn't available to be there.
Well, you weren't you effectively.
I wasn't me. Do you know what I mean? And having seen that moment of selfishness was, it was horrible. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And a takeaway that it massively showed me. I mean, throughout that whole relationship, I wasn't present because of the business, and hats off. She put up with a lot. It was one of those.
Having someone there, though, we touched on this in the last podcast, but I think it's so important for someone that's driven and wants more out of life and that is busy all the time to have someone that understands that you can't really dedicate your life to a relationship purely because you're building.
Only if that's your mindset. Do you know what I mean? I mean,
how do you look at it?
If you have the right person, they can help you grow.
Exactly.
100%. you know, if you're a business owner, you can't go and fuck about. Like, you ain't got the time to do that.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, having a solid woman behind you is so important. Like, you have to understand that.
I said that in the last pod.
Do you know what I mean? You know, and it's one of those, like, my past relationship wasn't the right one, but having come out of it and kind of reflected,
Made you realise what?
it made me realize
right
that,
one
it made me understand actually, like, even though I own a business, I have to be present with my family, my relationships. So it kind of taught me that, you know what, like, when it is time for me to have a relationship again, and I get someone that's supportive and wants to be there and supportive, that I also need to be present, and I need to make time and have balance in life to give to them as well as the business.
I'm a big believer that everything happens for a reason. It doesn't matter, good or bad. So it's like, even when you got robbed, when everything happened with your girlfriend, you realized that you weren't present. I definitely think that those things probably happen for a reason. And then you've gone and learned from them. Like, is there any lessons that you've learned from when you got robbed, or when you had the situation with your girlfriend, ex at the time, well, ex now?
Loads.
Got there in the end, lad.
Jesus. Loads. You know, work to life balance is so important. All that I used to do was work, and it got me to a
Work
great
out,
place.
eat, sleep, repeat.
Pretty much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I got robbed, I might not have ever recovered. And you know what I'd have had? Fuck all. Because all I had was the business. Didn't have myself. Didn't have a relationship with her, with my friends, with my family. So it made me understand that actually you have to have like balance in life. And that actually when you have balance in life, growth comes in abundance.
Once you establish, right, I'm going to work during these periods, but I'm going to dedicate this day of the week or this evening or to my girlfriend, my children, taking my mum for lunch, whatever it's going to be, like you said, to find that balance, you're going to be so much more efficient and more productive when you step into that workplace.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you're so much, you're it's like the energy that is coming to you and you're giving out. It's like it's a reflective thing. I'm a firm believer that the energy you put out into this world will come back to you in whatever way. And if you're putting out this love to the people that really love and care for you, it's going to come back. And when it's coming back, you feel good. And when you feel good, you work well and efficiently. And obviously, like you said, the growth comes with that.
Absolutely.
I'm a weird grinder, you know. I think I'm kind of the opposite to that.
Yeah, but
In what sense?
yeah, but
I think that when I get into my grind mode, kind of where I am at the moment, I feel like I need tunnel vision when I'm in that grind mode. I need to be locked the fuck in, and I need to be every day. That's all I'm doing, and that's my main 90% of my focus is on that grind. That's where I feel like I'm most productive, and it's when I feel like I'm making the most progress, and it's when I feel like I'm the most creative, and when I'm getting everything done. Like at the moment, if I don't have anything to do, I'll just edit old clients' content, and I'll just send out to them. Here you go. I did this. I even just enjoy sitting at my desk, the lab, and just sitting there and relaxing because it makes me happy.
And that is so important, but there will come a point in time, right?
You fizzle.
That is not sustainable.
Do you know what? I kind of feel like I'm there with my training at the moment.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. And
I said this
mate,
to you.
you have to. It's something that you won't learn until you go through it. You know, like I've told you, like, you know, I've done days where, so like I'm on stimulant medication for ADHD, which gives me a dopamine high so that I can focus.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest side effect of my stimulant medication is that like it blocks my sleep receptors. I remember like taking it, I took it like one night and I just worked all the fucking way through. I used to sleep at the unit, like I've done that graph, trust me, like I've been there. But I was a shadow of the man that I am now, both within business, happiness, outside of work. Like it balances everything in life. And this is where understanding, right, that starting your brand is a start point, right? And that it's actually more about the journey than the end point. And that like, you have to you've got to live that life. So,
I enjoy the journey though. The journey's fun.
Yeah, but imagine it in 10 years time when like, all you've done is like sat grinding in your room. I know you're not going to do that. I know but do you know what I mean? Like it's good to have other
There
things as
needs
well.
to be a balance.
There needs to be a balance.
I agree with that, and there is times where I do step away, but it's like at the start of my journey when it really started to kind of happen, like that was just straight. I was just locked the fuck in, and I think that is so important.
That's the same though with anything though. You need to commit.
You need to have a period of
to
time
start, and you need to go into like what you said. And I'm not saying to come out of it, because being in that demon mode right now is it's crucial to go to the next level. But once you get to a level where you were, where you're 3-4 years in, where not effectively it's self-sustainable, but you can take a slight step back. You can give that customer service phone to somebody else and dedicate a little bit more time to those relationships so that you're your best version of yourself. That's where that kind of balance becomes more important, I think.
Absolutely. And do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be like, I'm not saying like go do a 9-5, like, you know, but you ain't got to do a 6-6. Sorry, like, you know what I mean? Like you ain't got to do like a 6 to like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
I've done those before, man. That is tough. Like, seriously tough.
Like, you could do like 7 till 6. Like, all I'm saying is like, just allocate time.
Do you know what it is? Ooh, I live and breathe what we believe in, like what we're trying to create. Like, it's all I think about. Like, literally, I couldn't think of a 30-minute period throughout the day where I don't think about it, because I'm so locked in right now, and I feel like if that gets broken, well, do you know what? It hasn't gotten broken. It hasn't been broken, so I don't know what would happen. But I feel like it's important for me to stay in this mindset where in this mind state where I'm just constantly going every single day, because I'm seeing progress which I've never seen before.
But you can still do that, right? In different segments. And actually, if you learn to hone like deep focus work, you can get more done within a shorter period of time. Time will expand to like what you need it to.
Do you know what it is? I find that, so obviously I work out every morning, 7 a.m. We're a little bit late this morning, but 7 a.m.
You were a little bit late, not me.
No, that's my bad. It's my bad.
Like,
but my break throughout the day will be when I get up at, like, let's say 3, whenever I feel like it. And I'll just go for a walk, and that will help me reset. And I'll just put a podcast on, and like my mind will wander a little bit, and I get home and it's like all of a sudden I'm insanely creative again. Like, it's like reignited that, okay, I'm sitting at my desk, I'm going to edit loads of videos and get them done.
What you'll find, right, is that actually if you try to go constantly, right, you know that creative flair that you got right now start to diminish.
Yeah.
So actually sometimes pulling it back a little bit actually makes you more powerful during the allocated time that you're at work.
Wow, I didn't think about it like that, you know. It's like kind of
everything
falling out of love with the craft as well.
Yeah.
Because you love creating content. But if that's your all day, every day, can you love it forever? Because I know people that when they were 10, 12, 14, 16, loved football, got to a very, very good level, started making really, really good money, and all of a sudden they're kind of falling out of love with it because that's all they've ever done their whole life. And if you're a footballer at a good level, you don't have that much freedom. Really, people think it's the lifestyle, it's the best thing ever, but you've got to be at a set location, at a set time. You've got to turn up to the training ground every single day. You have your weekends where you're on match days. It might be away, it might be this. You've not got a lot of time at home. When you are at home, you're resting, you're recovering so that you're fresh for the next day, etc. It's a lot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you have to go through that to then experience it and understand. So, like, something that's very important to practice in life, right, is time blocking and allocating a certain percentage of your time to different things. Now, all that you will mostly be doing, right? Imagine you've got, like, you know, you've got family and friends, relationships, work, and yourself. Most of your time, where is it? It's at work or it's on yourself. The sad thing is, right, is that most people only give to their family and friends and their loved ones whatever time is left over in a day, which when you're a grinder is probably fuck all. So then everything starts to come out of kilter.
It's actually very true. I mean, my mum actually says it to me. She's like, if you're not working, if you're not at a shoot, if you're not like out, like that's when you want to sit and chat to me. And it breaks my heart when she says it to me. But the way you've just put it is like, if you actually do split your life up into those 4 segments, and the most important thing is probably what gets the least.
And who's going to be there for you, like, you know, unlike on a day when you're at your worst place?
Yeah.
It's going to be your family, your friends, and like the person that's there for you, like your relationship.
Yeah.
So like, just good practice, mate. It's just like, even if it's just like a Tuesday night and a Friday night, just have that as dedicated family time. Or like, you know, and set like that 8 till 6 period as dedicated work time, and don't entertain any of like, you know, you time or family time during that time. Be quite strict with it. And actually you'll find, right, that you then get a better balance of everything in life. So like me now, right? So like this is what my relationship failed back in the day. Like it'd be 6 a.m, the phone would go on, the customer service phone, ping, 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 10 o'clock at night, ping, ping, ping. You could not have a conversation with me. My face was like stone. Now, right, customer service phone goes on at like 8 o'clock and it goes off at 6 p.m.
Every day, no matter what, out of hours.
I'm so much more present with my friends. Like Chris will tell you, like, man, I used to be a fucking nightmare to get hold of, wasn't I?
No, for real. I just think you fell out of love with me, to be honest.
Honestly, like, I broke his heart, mate. It was bad.
What's one piece of advice that you could give to someone that were maybe just starting out their first ever brand?
I mean, I've got loads. Like, so I live off like 2 statements that have kind of helped me to go. So one statement that I live off is never settle for average. So whether that's kind of in terms of like, you know, something that I'm consuming, I'm buying, some work that I'm doing, the way that I'm applying myself, and never settle for average. Like I have to go the extra mile. And then the second one is bounce back ability. Success,
balance what?
Bounce back ability.
Oh, sorry.
Success is how high you can reach after you hit rock bottom.
Oh my God, bro. One of my favorite quotes ever from a film, Rocky 6.
Is it?
Yeah, Rocky 6. And he goes, the world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. And he goes,
it's
mean and nasty. Yeah, and he goes, and it's not about how hard you can get hit. It's about how hard you can. No,
you said
it's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit. And he's like face like this, and keep moving forward.
It's how much you can take and keep moving forward.
That's how winning is done. But bro, it gets me fired up. But it's literally what you just said.
If you carry that attitude to you and you apply it to what you're doing, you're gonna go far, man. Like you ain't gotta be a fucking brainiac to like create a brand. You just gotta be persistent.
But you weren't.
Great work ethic.
You weren't.
No, I wasn't, man.
No, you weren't though.
I got kicked out of school. Like, do you know what I mean?
But you came out, you applied yourself, stayed consistent, stayed dedicated, and came up with a brilliant idea.
That's the most important thing you can do.
And look where you're at.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Mate, it's important. It's very important in life. Absolutely.
I want to touch on one last thing before we go. Obviously, your business is so unique and so special. You've worked with some really, really cool people. Can you name drop some for me?
Yeah, of course.
I just want like because.
Well, no, of course. So, like, you know, I can name drop obviously the people that like we've shared on like our social media. You know, like we've worked with a lot of footballers. You know, like obviously like Grealish, Tyrone Mings, Andre Gray, Mendes Lang. One of my best customers ever. Like, and all of Natty's like family and extended family like all use me, which I have so much to thank them for.
Yeah.
We've obviously done actors. We've done people like Mist, which is a big one for me. Stardom. Like I'm massive into my music.
Yeah. Money every day is my routine. Drive around listening to Gucci.
But like, you know, for me, like the musicians are like that's where like I love music. Like I'm not really into my football. So like when I met footballers, I wasn't like, oh my God, you're right, mate. Is that you? Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Shit, can't believe this. Like, I was just my normal self. Like I was cool with them.
But you know what?
And I think because of that, that's why I got more, because I don't come from a very bad background. You know? I was like, you're just a normal client to me. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna
give me your money.
You know the worst thing people say to me? They go, do you charge footballers more? And I'm like, are you mad? No.
Yeah. At the end of the day, they're customers, and you've got to show them respect.
Yeah, exactly. They're customers, man. Like fucking hell. But yeah, like musicians to me, like that I absolutely love doing. Like,
you got a favorite that you can name? One person that that's been a customer, and you're just like, wow, that was the one.
No, but like Jacko is a great client, and he has been over the years.
Potential podcast guest.
Can you got that in the locker
Jack's
for us?
in a different league now. Do you know what I mean? Like, and he's doing exceptionally well.
It's a shame that he's not going to win the league this season, though.
I think Jack first used me back in 2019.
Tell me again.
Jack first used me back in like 2019. Like we've done 200 pairs, and
wait, he's got 200 pairs of kicks.
No, like but we've cleaned the same. He likes. Do you know what I mean? Like
Fuck
like he's got like 3 pairs of like white Balenciaga socks. Like the guy loves them, man. But when you meet him, like it's just a real nice geezer, like down to earth. Like
I get that though from what obviously we only get shown a small percentage, but I get
like,
that.
You know what? Like, you only get shown like what the media.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
and I've seen it firsthand. Like after something's been posted, and I picked it up, and like you can see it wearing down on him. Like Jack has like been like, it's just a real nice person, man. And like whenever I've gone and like met Jack to pick up, like he's always got time to chat. Like it's just like I'll be having a chat to you now. Like
Yeah.
And so I've got a lot of time for Jack. Mendes Lang, great customer. Like I said, like from Mendes, I got like his cousin, his brother, like his extended family, like, and I've probably done over like 400 cleans over the years because of that.
Hell.
Like,
you're missing out on another really good customer.
Yeah, there's this famous guy called Christos from
sexy
Bear Grylls.
Sexy Greek dude. Sexy Greek dude.
He's a bit short.
What?
He's got a small man syndrome.
Bro.
But you know what? Like I love him. I got a lot of time.
Now, how tall would you say though?
5'10".
5'6".
In forces. 5'6". Fuck off.
Like 5'7 3/4.
No, you're taking a piss.
Right.
I said 5'8" last episode.
How tall are you?
5'9", bro. 5'10" in forces.
See, I feel like, you know what? Like if you're in the 5 foot club, you got nothing to worry about, man.
If I'm in the what?
Like if you're in the 5 foot club, it's fine. Do you know what I mean? People know you're short. They accept it. Try being 6'1", man. Like, do you know how many people try and run you down? Like, you're not 6 foot.
You know what? I've sat and listened to you chat waffle for the last how much? Yeah, and you're throwing shade. Say less.
I think
I'm fucking you up.
I think now's a good time to end the pod. It's getting late.
Just quickly. Okay.
We could chat for ages, innit?
Yeah, man.
You said your favorite. Just before we go, you said your favorite. I want to know who would be like the dream person for you to work with.
Ooh.
Who would be the person that you'd be like, you know what? I want to put that picture of me. Like, so for me, if I was you and like Cristiano Ronaldo brought his boots in and I cleaned them, that photo would be like bigger than that photo in my house and it would be there forever type of thing. Like, what would be for you, that person?
Not necessarily a person, probably like a brand. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've always worked with people like Selfridges from like a retail perspective where we're situated within their stores.
Yeah.
But do you know, if like we were to collab with like I want to do collaborations, like it'd be good, like if we did like a Nike / the Sneakerdoc.
Gooms and the Sneakerdoc.
Yes. the man, or like working with Represent would be class. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because they're
best brand in the world at the moment, man.
Yeah, they're absolutely like, world class. Like, do you know what I mean? I can't get enough of it because we're all wearing something pretty much Represent.
I'm not today. The one that wears Represent usually everywhere.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But like, obviously, one, because they've gone through that path that all of people like ourselves that are being entrepreneurs have gone.
But they really
through.
did it.
Yeah,
and they're a British brand. But it'd be cool to like, if we could provide a sneaker care solution that sat alongside their footwear collection.
George, Mike, if you're watching the pod, I hope you are. Reach out to the Sneakerdoc, man. Let's make this happen. You never know, man.
True, you never know.
Hey, listen, TikTok, run this one up for us, man. Let's get the Represent boys, the Sneakerdoc X. Would you do Sneakerdoc X Represent or Represent X Sneakerdoc though?
It would be Represent X Sneakerdoc. Do you know what I mean? You got to understand.
Yeah. I wanted you to say.
You have to respect the brand, man.
But like, do you know what I mean? Like, it would just be obviously like a nice touching point in terms of like being able to provide, like, whether it's discounted cleans, whether it's a cleaning kit for the specific trainer,
or even something that comes with every single product that's bought.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, imagine if you got like a
Represent Sneakerdoc.
Imagine if you got like cleaning wipes, like free cleaning. Like, it'd be cool, man.
Yeah. No, that would be dope.
That would be a cool thing for me, 100%.
That's amazing.
Let's make that fucking happen, man.
We'll get there. All right.
Is there anything that you want to say before we sign off?
Yeah.
Any messages?
Just
anything
that,
you want to say?
More that I'm proud of you boys for kind of like embarking on that journey.
Appreciate you, man.
Oh, thank you, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Like I said, I talk a lot about balance now, but at the same time, I don't downplay like that start where like you are absolutely grinding, and I see you doing it, like, and it's great to see.
Yeah, bro.
Like, don't stop.
No, we really are in dog mode, and I really enjoying it at the moment.
Bro, I love the fucking grind, man. It makes me so happy.
No, it's great. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely great.
Yeah.
It's the best thing you can do. It's like being it's like being on drugs, man. Like, it's a high you get from it.
Yeah.
I swear to God, it actually is.
So I wouldn't know because I've never done drugs. So
well, yeah, that's true. I actually haven't either.
On that note, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you. I I want to say thank you to James as well for coming on. I'm sure that this isn't going to be the last time that you're ever on the pod.
Definitely not. Like, look, it's a big story. There's a lot to cover.
You're more than just a guest, man. We're friends at the end of the day.
Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, we've got that side of it where we're friends and we're just chatting about that.
Listen, guys, run up in the comment section, in everything. Like the video, do all of that good stuff. But if you want James to be a little bit more involved as well, maybe to even feature in some of the in-house episodes where we're just talking on.
As well, like if there were like set topics and set questions,
yeah,
and we could truly kind of.
I was going to say one thing is we're going to do like in-house episodes where we just kind of sit and just have general convo.
Yeah.
That's something down to get you in, man. Because realistically, you're one of the boys, man. You are one of the boys.
It's a good way to spend time together as well and chat and like just fucking great.
Bro, this is the longest I've ever held you to a conversation ever, and it's only because you got a camera in your face. But
gotta do it for the gram.
Bitches love the gram.
All right, peace, man. Go like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on Spotify.
Mic, man.
We're out, man.
End this before he wrecks the joint.
We're out.
Episode 2, we're out. Thanks, everybody. Peace.